Today I fucked up by confusing fake tan for lube and discoloring my dick for years to come, NSFW. Long post, but I have to explain myself. Lamau. Obligatory happened 3 years ago. So, when I was 13, it was the night that school had finished for the summer. I was having a nice relaxing evening alone watching anime when my sister had come into my room looking for a hairdryer. She had just graduated and was about to go on a night out. She had just put on fake tan and then left the bottle of it on my bedside table while she dried her hair. I have a pretty big mirror, so she wanted to use that. No problem, I just put on my headphones and think nothing of it. Anyway, she goes out for the night and I'm sitting at home. At around 11 PM the power goes off. I figure that it won't go on until morning, so I just decide to hit the hay. But since I have some trouble getting to sleep, I decide to have a wank before I go to bed. You can probably see where the fuck up comes into play. With the lights being off, I don't know what's on my bedside table and I just figure that it's probably lotion. I start rubbing it onto me and imagine NSFW stuff in my head. I don't really watch porn. After about a minute I start to realize that this doesn't feel like lube. It's kind of sticky and it just feels off. So I grab my phone and turn on the flashlight to just see orangey brown goop all over my hands and dick. I'm a really pasty guy, so I knew I had to get it off ASAP. I go to the bathroom and start rubbing soap and water onto my hands to try get as much of it off, and after about 10 minutes, it's grand. It was sort of hurting my dick to try and rub it off, so I figured I could just shower tomorrow and that it would be okay. Big mistake. So, yeah, I'm 16 now and it's still really discolored. Hasn't been much of a problem for me yet because the kind of person who accidentally rubs fake tan onto their dick is also the person who doesn't pull very often. Tried a bunch of solutions: baby oil, lemon and lime juice, fake tan remover. It's been 3 years though, and at this point I think I'm going to have to live with it. It looks just wrong and shiny when flaccid, but on the plus side it doesn't look horrible erect. To the one person who inevitably messages me, no, you cannot have a picture. I'm still actually looking to fix this, so if you have any advice it would be welcomed. Too long didn't read. Confused fake tan for lotion during a wank and now very white me has a dark brown dick. Edit, fine, for God's sake Lamau, I'll ask my doctor whenever I'm in with him next. Dick 2.0, a lot of people don't think I'm 16, here you go. Possibly you have gotten it all off, and what's left is a scar or chemical burn from the removal agents. There's no way a dye will last 3 years, and if it did that stuff would be a top seller. This feels like a troll post. BTW, they say the tan only lasts a week. How you managed to get over 156 weeks is just too much to make sense. What kind of industrial Askreddit tanning solution did you use? Go see a dermatologist. It may be embarrassing to tell them the story, but they could help you. I hope nobody asks a 16-year-old for a nude. Young man, tell your doctor lol, they might be able to fix it very easily. Doctor or dermatologist. Do it while you're a minor and have health insurance lol. First thought, that's hilarious. I hope he posted a picture online into story. Let's hope not. Are you sure that's not just its natural color now? As they mature, external sex organs, both male and female, can become quite colorful. They often seem to be darker than the rest of a person's body. Probably TMI, but whatever. I'm a white female, and for a while I had kinda dusky gray tinge to my labia, but was told it was just normal color variation. It's been through slightly gray purple and somewhat orangey, too. It settled down to my regular skin tone now, but used to fluctuate a lot color-wise. Imagine that wasn't normal and your labia had chameleon-like features where it blended into nearby colors. Today I fucked up by committing self-genital mutilation. I've just realized that this is my second ever post on r/today I fucked up, and that was also about hair removal in the lady departments. Strap on y'all, it's gonna be a good one. Toodle in the usual place. So, tonight I decided I'm going to wax my legs. I've been doing it for about 2 years by myself, bought a kit and learned via YouTube and personal salon experience, and I'm saving myself about £60 a month, so that's also a bonus. About 18 months ago I decided to get brave and learn how to hot wax my good bits. For clarification, this specific wax uses no strips but cools and hardens so you can use it as a strip. Did my Legos with warm strip wax and then moved further north. Decided I'm only going to do the bikini line because I'm going in my best friend's dirty sex pond, hot tub, tomorrow. Assume the position in front of the mirror and begin plastering the pink goo of Wonder on with a spatula, right side first. Right hand is dominant and brain can compute this in a mirror. After a couple of swipes, it's all smoothed down the right side, so I move on to the left. This is where we begin our terrible tale. Load up my spatula, move a bit of my thigh out the way and aim to spread it where it needs to go, and miss. Like aiming for the bin and actually hitting the sink, I've now got a thick, rapidly cooling, streak of the devil's cement binding all the hair on the top of my left hand labia majora. Science, bitches. I let it cool and hope for the best. Try tearing it off as I know to do, and will it move? My fragrant French acid can't. I crack on and do the rest of the remodeling in the area and then come back to my new friend. It's still not coming off. I douse it in baby oil and try and wank it off my pubic hair, still not coming. Begin to panic about the inevitable 111 call I'll have to make, and paramedics coming round to amputate my vulva, and become determined to get it off myself. I slink downstairs for the only scissors I own, and will be replacing, don't worry, and come back up to the mirror. I begin snipping, hoping to get behind the clump and onto the hair, finally getting in and making one big snip into what I thought was a completely skin-free area. Dear reader, it was not. Blood starts pouring out of the half-inch gash I now have in my lady garden, and the wax is still attached. These scissors can't even cut chicken breasts, but apparently they can easily slice through giblets. Betrayed. X. Kept snipping and finally got out of the pickle and into the shower. I'm now in bed with the fan blowing a gale directly into my new hole. I'll be making a donation to an FGM charity in the morning because no one should be forced to go through what I've just done to myself voluntarily. Please pray for me. I need all the help I can get. Too long didn't read. Mutilated my genitals with a pair of kitchen scissors because I have the hand-eye mirror coordination of a Christmas turkey. It rained. Didn't even turn the stupid sex bond on. I'm drunk. You're all wonderful. Thank you for the lure. If anyone ever finds themselves in a similar situation, please don't reach for the scissors. Take a washcloth, dip it in water as hot can stand, and put it over the wax. Let it sit for a minute, and then dip it in hot water again, and let it sit for another minute. Then take some Vaseline or olive oil and work it underneath the wax and you should be able to pull it off. It'll still be painful, because the hair will still come with it, but none of your skin will. And if that doesn't work, as dumb as this is gonna sound, leave it. It's not coming off because it's stuck to your skin instead of just your hair. But your body sheds a lot of skin cells, and letting it sit overnight means it might be easier to pull off. Same with super glue. If you ever get super glue on your fingers, instead of pulling it off or soaking it in acetone, leave or alone and it'll come off by itself in a few days. And please, for the love of all that is good, wipe baby powder on the spots you're waxing before you wax. It'll keep the wax from sticking to your skin and causing this problem in the first place. I tried to wax inside my ass and it basically hot glued my ass together. I had to get my 65-year-old mother to separate them and help me get the wax out. Then she was gone too long and super involved, so my dad came over. He used my code to get in and walked in to see my legs in the air and my mom hunched over picking out wax. He yelled goddamn and left. This needs its own today I fucked up post. Hopefully your friend's dirty sex pond will make it feel better. I don't think she should go in there with an open wound. Oh god, the bacteria. I've done the exact same thing to the old John Thomas as well, so I feel your pain. Getting the hairs on the stones is fairly straightforward, but I've got some rogue ones invading the lower parts of the pillar that I absolutely despise trimming. I will usually go through the slow, uncomfortable process of trying to individually cut each strand of hair with scissors because I don't trust myself in that area with any other tools. However, it gets pretty complicated when you only have two hands and are trying to simultaneously cut and prop up your toy solider at the same time. Got a little impatient with it and just started snipping quickly trying to get things done, and I created a small, not so surgical, incision in the underside of my one-eyed friend. Hey up. Believe it or not, I suffered a very similar injury recently. Gynecologist recommended using a spray disinfectant and a sitz bath. I was also instructed not to do strenuous activity or swim, but I was swimming in a public pool with my team, so very different situation. I'm no doctor or anything, just speaking from one woman who made a FU to another. Hope you get better soon. Today I fucked up by thinking r/no sleep was a subreddit for insomniacs. Obligatory, this wasn't yesterday. I was telling someone this story and figured it was appropriate to post here. Too long didn't read, at the end. Around 8 months ago, while I still was getting the bearings of Reddit, I had recently found out what the popular tab meant, and this I believe was one of my first, if not the first time I was on it. I saw a story on r/popular about a man buying a weighted blanket and how it was the worst mistake he ever made. I read the name of the subreddit and figured it was for insomniacs. As further into the story, he said he couldn't sleep for more than an hour or two, and thought this was some bad review for weighted blankets. I was laughing a bit, wondering how a weighted blanket could ruin this poor guy's life. As I read the story, I was thinking this is some really bad quality company, due to the way that the op said it was wrapped, and continued to read. I was happy for the guy and that he finally found comfort in something after the disappearance of his wife and kids. At this point I got sort of bored, mainly because he was talking about how to wash the thing, so I decided to do a quick scan of the rest and then continue on scrolling. I saw something along the lines of he should cut the blanket open because it was starting to smell, and that's how you get the beads out to wash the actual blanket. I giggled and figured I should keep reading. If you haven't read the story and wish to do so, I will link it, so you can just go through what I went through. I don't read well and I read fast, so it's not uncommon for me to misunderstand something that I read and have to go back to read it. I read a chunk of meat and then decided I missed too much and go back to read. I'm sitting there after class, reading about this man who's found his entire family's dead remains in a blanket he's been sleeping with. I'm almost in tears because I feel so awful for this poor guy. Well, as I read the comments, I'm in utter shock about how no one's talking about how bizarre this is. Where the media coverage? I comment on the post and apologize for his loss. I keep reading comments and still don't understand why people think he did it and no one's taking action about this. At this point I have tears rolling down my cheeks. It's stupid, but I cry easily, not gay swan type of easy, but easily. Finally go click on the stupid fucking subreddit logo and it says it's for horror stories. Well shit. At this point, I can't totally remember if I actually did, so if someone wants to check they can. I delete my comment and try to gather myself a little bit. A teacher comes up to me and asks if I'm okay, and I make up some excuse about a sad story, which is somewhat true, and she walks away. I don't know if this is totally a fuck up, but the other people in the library watching me laugh then start crying. Def think something a bit off about me now. Too long didn't read. I thought no sleep was a subreddit for insomniacs and read a story thinking it was real. I cried and now people probably think I'm insane. Yes, I did comment and it says I'm shocked. Are you doing okay? Don't believe everything you read on the internet, no matter the subreddit. Good point. This reelt was a wake-up call for me, haha. I had to quit my sub to No Sleep because I kept mistaking the post title for news headlines. Guy made the same mistake of thinking r/no sleep was a subreddit for insomniacs at first too, and then I read some of the posts and realized it wasn't a subreddit for insomniacs. Where's the media coverage made me giggle, lol. The fact that commenters act as though it's legit must have messed with you too. Let's just say it definitely did not help the situation, haha.